So this is changing things up a little from my usual. Usually I post mediocre to good games. This one's going to be a bad game. Bear with me because it's not bad in the sense that most people would say. So it's El Haloof. I'm going to use this video to comment a bit on the changes to the map as well, and it's also a good demonstration of why I think the Object 430 is so good as a medium tank. It's just, its ability to take hits is pretty crazy. So normally I'd head to C6D6 up in front of me and slightly to my right spot. Obviously there's this new area here. I was curious and wanted to check it out, so I drove a little closer to it and got spotted by an AMX who beat me there first. So first thing you notice is the trenches here are a lot deeper, about as deep as the Object 430. In fact, it's good cover for a medium tank, at least early on until they get flank shots. So you can see I've found a lot of things, and they're all shooting at me, but they seem to have trouble actually damaging me, such as the Object 430. Lower tier tanks really struggle against this thing. Hull or turret, they just cannot pen it. If they aimed a little better maybe, but it's just such a well-armoured medium tank. Enemy lose the tank already to my spotting. Some good shooting from Kang Dang and a couple of my other teammates. Make a mistake here and push up too far. You can see I'm just overextended as usual. The KV-4 gets a shot in. He's more or less stock. So this is actually, if it wasn't for the enemy arty, this would be a safe position for about another 30 seconds. And I could really work this KV over as well as his little AMX friend. Unfortunately there is arty, and he just slapped me for 852 hit points with a direct hit somewhere, I think. Or was that, no, that would have been a splash. Okay, so that was the direct hit I thought was arty. Right. Yeah, obviously that spot worked until they did that and got on A2. And we didn't have enough people actually in A2 that fast to distract them. Our guys were sitting around the corner. Not their fault. I shouldn't have been pushed up so far, but I might have gotten away with it. So you can see me backing up here. Now this new hill is decent cover. It's not the best cover, but it is pretty good. You can see I can ride up the side here and get shots on A2. I can ride up the other side and get shots across to the beach. Point to note about the beach, you can still shoot into it from the TD spot at H4. You just have less target exposure time, so you need to be ready to go. You don't have time to lead your target for, like 10 seconds like you normally would. You can't see into the approach either, but you can still shoot them as they cross. Really, I think what happened in that corner of the map is it doesn't give South any reason to go beach. It's still hopelessly exposed. North still has the advantage there. All it did was move the fight that usually happens on the corner at G6. It moved that fight to G7. That's it. It's really not a useful terrain feature. This, though, on the other hand, is a very useful terrain feature, I think. So I was just sort of dawdling around waiting for shots on something without getting artied, and this is a thing. This is definitely something. A big, slow, tier 7 heavy tank that I can pen everywhere, and he can't pen me no matter how hard he tries. Beautiful. And he's going to sit in front of my shots because he has some misguided notion that he will in fact damage my tank. I don't even think his gold rounds would be able to pen me at the angle and the distance that I'm at. He'd have to hope for the most miraculous cupola snipe, and even then he'd be pushing his luck. So I do bounce 1 or 2 shots off his mantlet. It happens, but he's not even hitting me, let alone penning me. Unfortunately, he realizes the futility of his actions, and after that bounce, he drives into cover. So you can see Kang Dang's been doing some work, sniping across. Our guys up in A2 seem to be winning that. The 268 is climbing the beach though, and we have nothing left to stop it. I turn to see if I can get render on it, and in the process of trying to get render, driving closer, I spot this. I get its attention with a shot. Now, I fuck up here, this is what got me killed. This, stopping here and backing up the wrong way. Had I just reversed straight down the hill and around the corner, I'd be alive. I'd be able to put out damage. Hindsight is perfect, and any kind of advanced decision making goes right out the window when you're staring down the barrel of a loaded Waffenträger E100. I just simply didn't think. Either way, you can now watch our Waffenträger Panzer IV throw away his tier 9 tank destroyer in about 2 seconds to land one hit. But at least Kang Dang makes good of his terribleness by managing to kill the Waffenträger E100. So I skip up to spectate our guys in the north. We just lost the IS-3, but we still have two tier 9, tier 10 heavies, with a decent amount of health. Not great, but enough to get work done. So the AMX managed to spot the JPE. His first shot, I think that was a tracking shot. JP snapshots and misses. Oh, no, I'm wrong. It wasn't a tracking shot. He's moving. It looked like he wasn't moving, but now I look closer, he is. So anyway, the AMX puts a couple more shots into him, sets him on fire, manual extinguisher though, so he's not going to burn for the full duration. And I make jokes about puppies and object permanence, but check this out. The AMX has just clipped a JP100. He knows it's there. He was shooting at it like 10 seconds ago, and he's driving up where it could possibly angle a lucky shot in over the ridgeline and hit him in the side of his cupola. It would be a slim shot, I grant you. He's got about maybe a 1 foot window of opportunity there, but it's enough. Anyway, the 50B reloads in time to deal with the KV-4, but bounces a shot because he doesn't aim properly. He's now fucked. He's clipped out and the KV-4 still has hit points and still has a functioning gun. And worst of all, the T-57 shows up. Now, I'm going to use this to soapbox a little about autoloaders. 2 things you cannot afford to do in an autoloader are miss or bounce. With regards to the latter option, that doesn't mean fire gold ammo, because high tier 1's firing heat, no normalization, terrible performance against spaced armor, softball travel time. It's just, you can't lead moving targets with heat unless you're some kind of math whiz. So that doesn't mean shoot gold, that means just aim your shots. That's all that means. Aim your shots. Don't snapshot, don't jiggle back and forth like puppies always do. And I've caught myself doing it as well, but not in my autoloaders. Just sit still and aim. So anyway, I should have been looking this way. Viet has a 268 in front of him. He snapshot and missed, the 268 snapshot and hit. This isn't an ideal situation for the E4 because it has such horrible gun stats. It can't cope with a peek and poke fight at this range, especially not a vertical one against a 268. So you can see, instead of giving the 268 another opportunity to shoot him, he's going to pull in behind the corner and just hide and see what happens. T-57 manages to slip past Kang Dang somehow, ninja, and comes for Viet, because Kang Dang apparently wasn't lit. But he is now, because he just put a shot into the back of the 57 for a low roll. 57 isn't very smart, driving towards Viet while shooting at Kang Dang, or pointing his turret at Kang Dang. He snapshots and misses, he snapshots and misses again. Enemy arty did take a shot at Viet and splashed him for low damage. Kang Dang is still putting down fire on these guys. That miss there by Viet cost Kang Dang his tank, but it doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things because he'd already done his job many times over, and he was able to buy Viet some time alone with the JPE by drawing the T-57 away. So obviously an angry JP is not something you want. Kang Dang gets a sneaky shot in just before dying. Viet's shot, I think, hit the roof and auto bounced because he was aiming at the casemate and the JP bucked over a terrain feature as he fired. It was just bad luck, really. So he's driving out looking for a shot here, but he's still mindful there's a 268, so he catches himself and reverses before he suicides out. And he wants to hold the corner. JP isn't sure what he wants to do here. You can see him trying to climb over the corner instead of go through. Oh, that snapshot. It was a very lucky shot there, skin of his teeth. You can see the 268 just stopped for a second. He was aiming. Definitely good reflexes there on Viet's part. But now he's got an angry JP charging down a hill at him. And a second bounce, that one off the upper plate at a bad angle. Nothing much you can do in an E4, it doesn't do those things well. Dun, 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 dun. Somehow, the RNG gods smile on Viet, and he survives the ram, bounces the shot, and then murders the JPE. And then is able to get away without being artied. The enemy T-57, not impressed, especially since he got shotgunned by our arty right before that was killed. So now the KV-4 backs up in a panic. If he'd stopped and fired, he could have killed Viet and won the game. He may only have the stock gun, but any gun in this match will penetrate the side of an E4. It is pathetically badly armoured in the sides. You can even pen it from about that angle there on the front with pretty much any tier 9 or 10 gun. That's how bad its armour is. But the KV-4 panicked because he saw tier 10 TD that wasn't even really looking at him and threw away his chance at winning. Been carried by Viet on this map once before during an absolute company battle while we were waiting for Wargaming to turn up so we could get some free gold. Purple brought a gimmick team of 15 Batchats and murdered everybody except Viet, who managed to carry the game in his T-57. Took us 3 rounds of 15 Batchat tip and run before we figured out how to effectively defeat that on any map, and they stopped doing it. So here we go, climbing up a hill in the painfully slow E4. So you can see that hill there, it doesn't block the upper side of the hill at all, it only blocks the lower side. Nobody in their right mind is going to charge into the middle. Well, they will now, there's a fucking hill there, but previously, you know, they would rush towards the beach, not the middle. And for people rushing the beach, it doesn't give you any more cover, really. There's just that little section there. So Artie gets lit, preparing for a shotgun probably. He misses. I think that was AP, because HE I'm sure would have splashed, even the regular stuff. Viet snapshots in a panic and misses as well, but he's going to reload before the Artie does, so he's basically got the game at this point. And the blind shot gets it. So just quickly before the end of the video, it gives you a kind of look at how the changes on El Khalouf affect medium tanks, especially in that western side of the map. By the time this gets uploaded, it'll probably be several months down the line, and it won't be really cutting edge knowledge anymore, but you know, I do what I can. If you want to get this shit uploaded faster, feel free to donate money so I can move to a real country with real infrastructure. But until then, I'm stuck with 1 or 2 videos every 1 or 2 days. You know, it's going to take me months to clear my backlog. But you'll notice, even though I said this was a bad game, it was a really shitty game, I was really pissed off about how I played it. 2,842 damage. Granted, against low tiers, but still, that's damage going on the enemy. Those are tanks that won't fire. And not only that, but I spotted a lot of the enemy tanks at the start. I don't remember if I took post-game screenshots or not. If I did, I'll upload them and put them in the description like I usually do. If not, then I guess I won't, but I hope I did because I really want to see how much spotting I got done there. So, conclusion, El Khalouf is still shit. I mean, if you would say El Khalouf pre 8.10 was like eating dog shit, 8.10 El Khalouf is like drinking a dog shit smoothie that's had some strawberry flavouring poured into it. I'll go with that one.